So this woman, 24-year-old Julianna, who was originally charged with second-degree homicide, who was allegedly involved in a double homicide, she had taken a plea deal for a lesser charge of manslaughter, all because the prosecutor wants her boss. And the type of plea deal that she got was shocking. So let's dive into today's story as we try to understand what did these people do to commit a heinous crime. So in February 2023, the police were called to the Virginia home of Brendan Banfield and Christine Banfield. Police were called to the home by the alleged intruder. Police were told that Christine was attacked and Brendan had shot the intruder. Now, while police were surveying the scene, they would go ahead and question Julianna, who was the couple's live-in nanny. Now, the story that Julianna was going ahead and tell police was that her and Brendan was taking his 4-year-old daughter to the zoo, but had turned around when they forgot the child's lunch, and upon entering the house, they had heard an intruder in the house. Julianna stated that her and the child hid in the basement while Brendan searched around the house. She said after a while, that's when she heard gunshots, and then she called 911. Brendan, he was a former agent for the Criminal Division of the Internal Revenue Service, or the IRS, and Christine was a pediatric intensive care nurse. Now, Christine, she was mortally wounded and was quickly rushed to the hospital where she later passed away. Now, police assumed that this would be an open and shut case because it just appeared to be a home invasion gone wrong. But during the investigation, they couldn't find out that the evidence didn't match up with what was going on. During the investigation, they couldn't find out that the evidence pointed towards a different story because investigators were couldn't find out that both Brendan and Julianna was having an affair. And that the affair had been going on since Julianna became their nanny back in August of 2022 when she first moved in. Investigators were coming to find out that in the 6 months before Christine had passed away, both Brendan and Julianna had took a trip to New York in which they had took romantic pictures together. And it was during that time period where Brendan allegedly came up with a plan to unalive his wife so he can be with Julianna. So it was alleged that Brendan had created a fake profile of Christine on FetLife, which is kind of like one of those bondage websites. And on that website is when he started communicating with this man, Ryan. Now, Ryan, he was a mixed martial arts enthusiast who also liked to LARP, which is live action role playing. Now, it was alleged that Brendan had told Julianna to call Brian and pretend to be Christine, in which they used an encrypted messaging app called Telegram. And they used that app to confirm the details that both parties were willing to participate. So then Ryan was lured to the $1 million home on February 24th of 2023. So it was alleged that Ryan was meeting Christine for consensual roughhousing, not realizing that he was walking into an ambush. So Ryan had gave Julianna a pew-pew, which he had bought over a month ago. And the reason I'm saying pew-pew, because I'm getting tired of my videos getting put on hold. Brendan would then tell Julianna to call Christine's phone once Ryan walked into the home, and then to turn around and call him saying that there was an intruder in the house and that she was scared. Now, the phone call to Christine would go straight to voicemail because Brendan had allegedly turned off Christine's phone and placed it to the kitchen drawer right before he left the home that morning, in which Brendan would go to a McDonald's nearby and wait for Julianna's phone call. Now, once he got that phone call for Julianna, he would quickly go to the house, walk in, shoot Ryan, and then stab his wife. Now, it was alleged that Julianna had saw Ryan moving and had shot him again because she thought that he was still alive. And then the two would go ahead and report the incident by saying that Ryan was the intruder who had stabbed Christine. Now, during the investigation, based on the blood splatter analysis, it would appear that both bodies were moved. But during this case, it appears that the forensics expert took their time and analyzed the case before they made their decision. Now, in October of 2023, a search warrant would be served, and once they searched the house, they had found that Julianna had moved into the main bedroom. And that's when police had discovered that Julianna and Brendan was having an affair the whole entire time. And in that same month, Julianna was also arrested. She was charged with second-degree murder and the use of a firearm in the commission of a felony in the death of Ryan. But she was not charged in connection with Christine's death. So after a year of being in custody and just days before her scheduled trial of October 25th of 2024, Julianna would go ahead and take a plea deal in which she gave the prosecutors a detailed account of the killings that corroborate with evidence. Now, some of you may be wondering, why would this couple do something like this? And it all comes down to resource protection, because it ever came to light about their affair, then Brendan would lose everything. He would lose his $1 million house, he would lose half of what he owns, as well as he would lose his daughter, as well as Julianna being put on the street and unemployed. And the reason why Brendan had implemented Julianna in his plan is because it was more of a dom-sub relationship. In relationships like that, the dominant person always has the submissive person partake in their activities just so they can't turn on one another, as well as the fact that the submissive person also shares the blame in it. Now, due to the plea deal that Julianna had received, which it went from second-degree homicide down to manslaughter, in which Julianna is looking at about 10 years in prison. However, it is believed that Julianna had worked out a plea deal with the prosecutors where she would be released on time served after Brendan's trial, provided that she continues to cooperate with authorities. Now, Julianna's sentencing date is set for March 21st of 2025, and Brendan is scheduled to go to trial on February 3rd of 2025. So what do you think? Do you think that it's fair that Julianna may be getting out with time served after the crime that she committed? Or do you feel that they both should be charged with the exact same crime, seeing how they both had a hand in everything that went on? Go ahead and put your comments down below. And if you like more forensic analysis of cases like this, go ahead and stay tuned to my channel for more videos to come. And if you're new, check out my previous videos that you might like.